Holy crap, okay. Oh, Ron? Okay, so this panel here, if we can pull back and show the whole thing, and then zoom in. This one panel alone was days of work. I got really into rendering in the style of Jose Gonzalez, and I'm sure we'll insert some of his images, say, here, for you to look at for a minute. But what I really wanted to get out of this was that idea that the fathers who are basically the rulers of the world she lives in. They're called the fathers. It's like sort of a cross between Donald Trump's dream world and Kim Jong Il's dream world, and they created these mutants which were meant to be servants and gods. Now, how do I mean that? We talked earlier about the servants with the mutants, but servants and gods. Well, you can see here there's references to the DMT toad, references to the three-headed dog from Greek mythology, Cerberus, right? References to the crucifixion up here, a reference to a twisted sort of Ganesh. And what this is really talking about is how our leaders and so forth manipulate us by trying to turn their gods into their servants. Because if they can convince us that Jesus wants us to do what they want us to do, they've won. At this point now, God becomes the servant of man in a very perverse way. That's what this panel is about. But the reality is that this creature has its own mind, and it now wants to speak to the chosen one. But you come down here and we get back to the same point. All Mara wants to do is escape into the drug world. She is not ready to handle the reality of what's ahead of her. What is ahead of her? I'll tell you briefly. Her sister has been kidnapped. She doesn't know where she is, and she's completely, she doesn't have superpowers. She's not like a modern, quote, strong woman in a movie where the first time she picks up a lightsaber, she kicks ass with no training. Mara starts off weak, like the rest of us. She fails, like the rest of us. She's vulnerable, like the rest of us, and has to find her strength. These strong female characters in movies today are not strong female characters because they're not characters. They give us a fake notion of who we are. They act like we should just be into this girl power thing and we should just go out and kick butt, but that's not how it works. There's failure to rise above. There is suffering to rise above. That's what a strong female character is. Someone who is vulnerable, who is weak, who is frightened, and rises above it. And that's the kind of story I want to tell.